I am back with more content vlogging my creation process for Pretty People. I just made the entire drum part while sick. I won't have any clips from that, but I can show you what I have so far. Those are just basically the drum tracks right there. That audio one is actually still the bed track. The top one is the actual keys, which I also have over here in MIDI. Drums are so humbling. They will tell you where you are rushing. It's like worse than a metronome. This is the track that taught me to use patterns, so that's gonna be interesting. I've been to England twice. Still tweaking the keys too. I could run a marathon around your sycophantic fronts, but I'm not your brain enough to be one of the pretty people. Let's see if I can find a more interesting spot. This is actually my second time attempting to record Pretty People. It wasn't right. A lot of the concepts were, and I kind of fleshed out what I wanted vocally, so I know exactly what I want vocally in this, which is weird because usually I don't. Like harmonically.
It was way too slow. I'm like, this is not like, this is supposed to be a bit of bop. You know, it's not bop.
It was like boom, boom. Like, no. The drums were all a mess because I was finger drumming, and the drums have to be really tight. Like, I didn't even humanize them, which may have been a mistake, but it's too late now. I'm not as worried about that because the vocals and the keyboard, it's so swung that I feel like if I humanize them, everything's just gonna be too loose. The drums are what kind of holds it together, you know? Oh yeah, and I also figured out the other one. Okay, so that keyboard sound is from my keyboard. That keyboard. Like, it's an audio sound from a digital piano. It's not a MIDI track. So I actually figured out how to turn it into a MIDI track, and I got really excited and posted it all over my Instagram story. Did take a production course hosted by SoCan. This is not sponsored, just dropping it in there. Equity Times production course. Awesome. If you're minority in Canada and you're a music producer, you may want to look into that. This is going to the keyboard, so this is like audio, right? So this is plugged into my computer, and this is my MIDI cable, right? There's a diagram that we came up with in the class. So this goes to my computer, and this is coming from, this is being fed into the Focusrite. It's kind of like a loop. Do not unplug it before you bounce it, because it's like removing your library, like your sample library, right? Because it's drawing the audio sound from that and then turning it into MIDI. So this wasn't in properly, and I could barely hear the sound, and I was like, what's going on? No, it was just that this was unplugged. Like, you can fix it if you unplug it, but you'll have to go back, plug everything back in, find the right sound on your keyboard, make sure you bounce it before you use it for something else. Just sort of a one at a time thing with the keyboard. Like, you can't flip between it as easily as you would with a sample library, because it is the sample library. Why is it still over there, and why is it clipping? Gosh, this is gonna be the death of me. So maybe I didn't figure out how to do it. Nope, it wasn't double recording. That was to the new track. I'm just an idiot. Okay, we're gonna just try that again. I don't even want to call that mono because it's stereo, but it's just recording to one. Like, bro, where? It's called Control Z. My best friend. And right now it's kind of going to one, which is kind of better. It's better. It's not what I wanted, but you know, that we can work with that. Single most annoying thing about this process is that you literally have to let it record it. I have to wait for the duration of it now. And it's driving me nuts. Looks like that was the answer. Record it to the output or input. Hold on. Technically that would be an input. Record it to the correct input. Always listen twice. Good, but the fade out now seems a little awkward. I'm gonna try to sing with that, and we're gonna see how it works. Before I do that, I'm going to fade the beginning, of this cut, and then the end of that cut. Not that I really need to, but it's always a good idea. Barring something crazy, I think the keys are done. I think the drums are done too. The cymbal suck's growing on me, actually. Everything else sounds really acoustic, but I usually like using a lot of synthetic sounds. It might be a nice segue back into my other stuff that I usually do, because the rest of this EP is going to be a little bit more electronic, maybe. That means it's vocals time. Pray for me. Doing this for a long time today, and that's basically all I've done. So I'm gonna go take a break, and because I have ear fatigue, I can't really work more anyway on this right now. The next thing is gonna be vocals. This is literally my desk with forehead and freaking harmony work and my recording stuff up. And my piano is much the same. Absolute chaos. Chaos, chaos. What's on my piano? Let's take a look. My husband and I are trying to learn this to play together because we've never played anything together, shockingly enough, even though his literal degree is in the violin. Just recorded some of my vocal comp tracks. This is what my hair ends up looking like after because I record with a blanket over my head. Just blanket over my head.
That's where we're at, and wow, just looking at myself in the viewfinder, and that's thanks.
And I need to go run and teach now, so I've switched blankets because the knit wasn't doing it for me. So now I'm using this plush kind of squishy thing. If you're using a knit one like that, it's a lovely blanket, but it's very heavy. My arms hurt holding it up. Wow, my screen. I am so sorry. I'm really not very good at this vlog thing. Please bear with me. I just wanted to show you I have 5 vocal takes that I'm now comping together. Technically, I only have 4 because the first one is partial. I don't remember where I stopped, but so far I haven't used it for anything, so I might just delete that one. If you're indecisive like me, don't make 5 different takes because then you will be deciding between 5 for every single line in your song. Try and extend the take that you are doing for as long as possible because obviously it's going to sound a lot more cohesive. Unless like I run into a problem here or another one's like way better. I'm probably going to try and use Box 3, yeah, as long as I can. This is really hard to do while holding a camera. Nobody ever tells you these things. Solidarity. I'm gonna have to choose that one carefully. Solidarity. Oh, that's fun. It's everybody's favorite part there. So now we're looking at 2. Solo. Nope, not as good. Let's try 1. See, soloed. Usually the first take's either the best or the worst. Let's try 5. Nope, I think this one is the best one. I'm like half crying enough, but it's still clear. Oh, that's good. Yeah, so that's a little quiet, right? Vox 4, that sound wave looks a bit better. The timing's off, don't like it. I like the little laugh in there. Taylor does that a lot in her older Speak Now stuff. Kind of fell in love with it there. / musical theater. Solidarity, who might I be? Okay, so there's a little bit of a hiccup in between those, but I'll go back in later and like do crossfades and stuff because I can't do this right now. Workflow. If it's not playing nice and I can't get it to work, then I'll just have to extend this one. But I think I can get it to work. I've gotten worse things to work in the past before. Fiction, when I was doing this, was hell. Often you'll end up using mostly 1. So you can probably see I don't have a lot of the green in there, the bottom one. Mostly it's these top 2 and then this kind of, I don't know, I think I did a better take for the last part. This song's really interesting because there's a lot of vocal texture. Like the first one's very storytelling, clear, pretty, and then it progressively gets a little bit more gritty. You can see it's pretty dynamic. I had a lot of trouble with the chorus because just that little belted I didn't belt it then obviously, but like there's some that just didn't work, so it kept clipping, so I kept having to retake that. You can see that there are 2 takes. Like this one is completely unusable because there's a clip there. First one too, I believe. Some of them I went way too far back from the mic, and then the one I ended up using had kind of a nice combination of glottal. Like there's always a question of how much glottal you want, so like over here I ended up going with the one that was sort of like high ask too many questions as opposed to this one down here. The bottom one sounded more like it was a lot cleaner, I feel like. It's a little bit more muffled. Incidentally, this bottom one is the one I took with the switched blanket. I actually think the knitted one, which was all these, turned out better, weirdly enough. I don't know if that's because there are holes in it, so it has more air, but like the other one sounds really muffled. Still need to do the crossfades. I'm going on vacation, sort of. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I just want to get the main vocals done, and then I can go. When I'm doing detailed things like crossfades or just fades, beginning and end, I like to be able to hear in really close detail. So that's why I have the headphones on now. Actually only recently switched to using studio monitors for anything. I'm kind of not used to using not headphones. Like I'm used to always being able to hear that when I'm doing any sort of editing on the track itself, but I just put them back on because I want to really get in the detail, hear all the breaths and stuff. And I've also found like there's a way to do auto fades in here. I end up just just manually doing it because I like having a bit of the breath in there. So I'm just like making the fade longer. Do the auto fade, it makes it smaller than that. I don't know if this is right, but this is, I guess, kind of maybe a good lesson to use your ears and not what the computer says.
Questions whether or not they're sacrosanct.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it there, but
Strips me of accolades. I can run a marathon around your sick, authentic fronts, but I'm not pure brain enough to be one of all.
that's really quiet. I think I have to go in and do some volume adjustment too. There's gonna be like these stacked vocals. What does like to do before the bridge? Like choral style, you know? I am coming to you after getting back from vacation. It was lovely, but it wasn't relaxing. So I'm still exhausted, but we're gonna power through this. And I spent yesterday adjusting the volume on the main vocals so that everything's like even volume equalizing, but it's not EQ. You know what I'm saying? It like literally is just in the volume, in the actual. I'm not making any sense. I don't know all these technical terms. I'm a producer, but I'm not a producer, you know? We're gonna try and tackle the backup vocals. Now, I know exactly what I want to do, but I thought it would be interesting to show you the way that song used to be the first time I recorded it. It was way too slow, but I did end up using it in a production tutorial session with Sarah MacDougall. There is some mixing, some compression, some reverb. We did a chain on the drums, so that's probably why they sound better. Look at my flowers. Okay. You see, it doesn't have that like you don't want to bop as much to this, right? It like wasn't it? Too slow. But vocals.
I asked too many questions, whether or not they're sacrosanct. I hunger for reflection, strips me of accolades.
And then but like dissonant chord, like cluster chord type things. Vocals. It's been about, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, and this is what I got. Backing vocals, I did 5 takes, but I also added in the pre-chorus, second pre-chorus, a high one to, maybe we'll switch to. Okay, and then I also did 3 takes of like a high one, except I'm a little flat there. We'll see. Goes up like that. Right there, I'm a little flat. We'll have to fix that. Like that, except I can't sing right now. I like the slide up I did, I added that too. I gotta comp these now. My entire first verse of my main vocals disappeared. I went and had a shower and I came back and boom, just gone. It wasn't playing, like everything wasn't playing in general, so I saved it and closed it and reopened it. Everything was the same, except my first verse was just gone. In all my previous versions, the first verse was just gone. So I have no idea what was going on there, because I did the same thing to the first verse that I did to the rest of it, and my other backing vocals and stuff are here, which, by the way, sound great. Let me just... I love it. Wait for it. Moral of the story is weird things happen last minute. The way I fixed it is I went back and into all of these, re-highlighted them, put them into the comp track and bounced them out again. This is why you keep things like this. Just print it to a new track. Don't get rid of your comp tracks or anything like that, okay? Because sometimes crap like this happens. And I thought I finished all the vocals except for the choral stacks today, and I was so excited, and then this happened. I was coming in here before I went to bed because I thought I had an idea for another instrument to put put in, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. Just kidding, it's 12:54. And what I wanted to say, I realized I didn't actually update you on what I did, so I spent the last 2 days, realized all the volume. I did that for backup vocals and everything too. Vocals week is always interesting. I'm so bad at this vlogging thing. I started doing arpeggiation synth stuff. I did not show this from the start, but like there's really nothing to show. Using the labs, the Spitfire Audio Labs. So it's like a nice classic old synth, D major, so. You would not believe how long it took me to freaking get that sound. It's literally just octaves. I have it on 3-octave range, which is why it sounds, you know, wide and big, but we want wide and big because it's 80s. Shut up. There we go. I did not do anything to the gate. I have been playing around with the gate and it's on just the up pattern and it's not very long. I'm really thinking to put it right at the beginning of the second pre-chorus. So like, update on the synth situation. I found one, but then I needed to put a modulation on it because of like the volume dynamic. And down and up and down, you know, like with strings like you usually do, except I don't think it's built in to the sound that I picked. And I like the sound, and I have a flanger, is that how you say it? I don't even know. On it, it had really cool sound. It's like these synth strings. I think I turned the sustain far down, long decay, and fast attack. I did the mod wheel twice, and I spent like an hour just trying to get that to work, but it's not working. Bounced it to audio and manually tried to fix the volume. Literally go through and like just everywhere I wanted it to swell or come down, but that didn't work either. So I spent like an hour and a half doing that, and now it's like 10 after 11 and I think it's fine. I can probably fiddle around with it once it's converted into audio. It is too late for this. Arpeggiator here, something like that. You can hear it a little better there. Skip to the end. Same idea. It's very drony. If I solo this, you can see over here. Thin out some of this because I think it's interfering a little bit too much. I think that sounds better. It's like less drony. I don't like the crunch. There. It's that second part of the chorus. It's not the I ask too many questions. Sometimes you press the wrong key. Poof, you just have a random note just hanging out in the middle of your keyboard. What's my chord here? E, A, C sharp. Oh, so it's an A chord with 2 E's. So we're kind of doing like a passing chord thing. Unstable. Oh yeah, that's better. See, you can see my modulation attempt. It didn't work. It's been a hot minute. It is 2024 now. February, actually. I'm almost done, but I got really sick at the end of the year and things just really derailed because my health has not been great lately. I think I've got it figured out, but I always think that. Anyway, I guess I'll just show you what things look like now. I have bass. I have a lead-ish guitar. It's not like front and center, but it kind of is sometimes. I desperately want to add strings to this, but not everything needs strings. I don't want to ruin 80s synth pop vibe. I'm sorry, the camera is not framing me. You want to talk about getting held up? This freaking guitar took me much longer than it should have because it is not perfectly in tune. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe that's the problem. Unfortunately, this is not synths. This is semitoned. Look at that. Because I've been using labs, see, labs in other instruments, I had to print all of them to audio before I could even think about doing this guitar section, because there is, thank God, a master tuning section here. But do you see what this is at? We are not at A440. We are not even at A442. 442, what am I saying? 432, which is what I went down to. No, we're not even at 438. We are at 438.5. 0.5, okay? I was losing my mind yesterday, but the battery died, so I couldn't film this, but I'm gonna show it to you now. It's still slightly out of tune, but you know what? This is 80s, and sometimes things are a little bit not as perfect, which is nice. I don't hate it anymore, and I really like the line, and I really like the sample. Just, I got my husband involved. He was listening because sometimes my ears start to not work after producing for a while. You change it here, but then you have to like click the keyboard to apply it. It's the weirdest thing. I couldn't hear the difference when I made really drastic changes in tuning until I clicked the keyboard, and then it hit me all at once and I nearly fell over. You can watch it now. Sell my soul to gain access to squares and words of favorite part. Yes, I also obviously did the modulation down here. Tried to keep the spacing a bit wider because of how guitars are tuned with their strings. You can't play them like a piano, which makes it hard when you're playing on a piano, obviously. Technically, the guitar only starts like here, the first chorus. Do you see this? There's not a lot going on, which is okay, but I think I want another synth somewhere in here. And then hopefully after some volume balancing, maybe a little bit of checking the panning and finishing up some final things, I will be done. And I can send this to my mix engineer because I'm dying here. And this has taken a long time, but it's worth it because I love it. Run with some more synths maybe and then call it a track, not a day, a track. It is months after the last one, maybe not. I'm not actually sure when my last video was, but I discovered how to do Melodyne. This is my first time doing it. I'm doing like definitely manual Melodyne, so for this one, this is going to be part of the stacked choral stuff. The A bits are all the same melody, like the letters are the same parts basically, and then the 1, 2, and 3 would be like different singers. I did like different takes so that it would sound a little bit more realistic. But I've done A1, B1, C1, and D. I did those first so that I had like one correct one for all the tracks. Okay. I'm gonna add the choral D, which I think adds a lot. Again, like I used manual, so I went through and just slightly put some notes a little bit more sharp, a little bit more flat, because when you have this many harmonies in a studio setting, you'll want them to be perfect. The issue with studio stuff is it is different from live in that you can, I guess, adjust more or less to the track that you're hearing. If I'm recording background vocals, I'm listening to the main vocal and probably like the piano or something. So I can adjust melodically to that, but the main singer can't adjust to me, right? Because that's a pre-recorded take. And then as you go on, you end up with more and more takes where the singer, live singer, can adjust to what they're hearing, but again, the things that are already recorded can't adjust back. Very different than a live setting. And when you have harmonies like this, a lot of seconds, I've got some like crunchy stuff going on. You'll want them to be like really, really clean. It's literally just pitch. If you're an artist watching this who thinks, oh, that's perfect, she uses Melodyne too, I can, yeah, that's great. But if I were a producer doing someone else's vocals and I got like a bad vocal take, yeah, maybe I can fix your pitch, but not like a full note. The further you go away from the pitch that was sung, the more whack it gets. I did move one, I think up or down a note, but it was starting to get a little oomph. So you gotta be pretty close. Yeah, everything else better be good.
I ask too many questions, whether or not
those,
my hunger for reflection strips me
with that many vocals lining up, they better be. I feel like this is gonna make me a better singer.
Pretty people.
That was cool. One thing that I forgot to say is that I'm also not going for like perfect unison. I do want there to be some like still slight variations and stuff because that will keep it natural. I was a little bit stricter with the main vocals and the background vocals because some of those harmonies really had to lock in. For this one, I'm not too worried, especially because I'm doubling or even tripling some of the parts. So if there's a little bit of fluctuation, that's okay because it's like That would be a natural voice, right? It's also I'm doing it manually because I don't want them to all sound the same. So the goal is to retain as much of the dynamic characteristic as possible. Apparently you can also adjust amplitude in here, but I haven't figured out how yet. That is all for now because I still have B2 to finish, then B3, C2. And then I think I will be actually done this track. I have been working on this for months, granted on and off, probably 3 months, 4 months now, and I just wanted to be done. So many things kept delaying it. I was just about to basically finish this up, and as always, I wanted to put something else in there because I am a perfectionist. There were some holes where places weren't as filled in, like mainly the verses. This is the string part. It's already been converted to audio. It was MIDI. It's another Labs, because of course it is. It's the classic strings, but I've really played around with a lot of the settings. Low reverb, odd variation. I don't actually really know variation, I just like the sound of it. Super low tech, because I wanted it to be very like right. Decay is kind of hard because if you don't know what ADSR are, which is attack, decay, wait, I did that in the wrong order. No, that's right, ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, and release, which is literally right in front of my face because I'm really intelligent that way. If you don't know what they are, I highly recommend you look up a diagram, which helped me a lot. You can just Google like ADSR diagram and it gives you like this little like graph thing. I'm not gonna explain it now because the diagram will do that, so go look it up. But the decay I find really changes the sound. Like everybody goes for attack because that's kind of the obvious one. And then sustain, it's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then release, those affect the notes, especially from an instrumentalist point of view. Attack and sustain and release are important, but decay often changes the timbre. I haven't exactly figured out why that is yet. I'm sure somebody a little bit more experienced than me could probably tell you. I don't really want to mess around with this now because I have it the way I like it. I always duplicate my tracks. So this is the string MIDI. Once I bounce them to audio, you like can't use that one anymore. So this is just the same thing. I've muted it and then I do that to hide it in my giant list. Not actually that big. I feel like everybody else has bigger lists than I do. That's fine. I've already volume adjusted some of this because these are super loud. So those two were like sticking out and it was really grating on my nerves. Those two as well. I actually haven't heard what it sounds like in the mix yet because I soloed it, and they are panned. I mean, this will get changed because of my mixing engineer. I let him do panning and stuff, but right now I had them over further right than R9, but then I realized that strings probably sound better if they're like, you know, centered, because if you had an actual ensemble or whatever, you probably wouldn't want it off to the side. That would be weird. These come in halfway through verse 2.
What a lot of gold.
That's so much better. They were like going boom, boom, and then other stuff takes over. You can see here, these are much bigger. Yeah. It's not too bad, but those first two are really... Yeah, so it's just the beginning. I'm gonna volume adjust a bit. You can do so much with volume adjusting. Did this like free little course thing and they were like showing volume adjust. Like we're trying to do all these effects when most of the time, like just cut that, shrink it, squish it. Here, let me see if I can do this while filming. We're just gonna work on these two. Cutting tool. So then you can see that the waveform, like it ends, but it kind of keeps going. So I don't want to go like too close, so I want the end of the tail. And remember, you have to cut the beginning, otherwise you'll end up shrinking everything. Changing tools, back to this one, arrow, and just literally that's it. Also important, crossfades on Studio One on a, I almost said Mac, I don't have Mac, what the heck, X, that's literally it. And then I have to go over here, I have to do it for all of them, just in case. Now I'm going to go in and stretch the crossfades a little bit. They're really small. I prefer bigger crossfades. I don't know if that's right or not, but like, is anything really right in production? I'm going to turn this whole thing into audio, merged audio part. That's what I want.
And I bet I've read more books than you, and probably could have taught you too, but that's not hard when debates are made.
Okay, I think I'm ready to bounce it. I will have to create a separate project, like copy this project, usually make a reference mix, and then send the stems with no panning on them, just because I want him to have like freedom when he's mixing. I'm gonna try and keep all the other effects though. I've been doing this so much that I feel like my ear's tired and I want to work on something else, and he'll adjust the volumes anyway, so I don't even know if I have to do that much volume adjusting. I did a little bit of that yesterday, so yeah, it's almost May now. Been working on this for like 6 months on and off, but that's fine. That's fine. I guess I'll show you the finished result on Spotify. Well, there's 40 tracks. I have fantastic news. I have my second mix back, tweaked up from my mix engineer, Max. He sent me one and we had to like take the kick down, de-brighten some of the S's. But other than that, it's all sounding amazing. He does such a good job. And he's been really helpful. Also, we had a little bit of an issue. There was a limiter that was kind of being wonky, and he was really great about the whole thing. Fixed all the problems, and I have my second mix to show you, and I think it's almost there. I think it's like ready to be mastered. I might need to take down the S's a little bit more, but other than that, I just realized that if I actually show you my email, I'll be showing you like PayPal stuff. My private email, which we're not going to do.